All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Zane, July the 24th already, middle of the year, 2022. This is our 199th episode of Speaking of Zane. Next week, 200. Wow, hard to believe. For sure, we started August the 5th of 2018. So it's taken us almost 4 years to do 200, which is about right. 50 weeks in a 52 weeks in a year. Skipped a week or two here and there, including last week. We didn't have Speaking of Zane last week because I was traveling, and had a really good visit to St. Louis, where my work is, and very productive. I was just there Sunday night through Wednesday. And very productive. I actually spoke to our 170 some odd interns that we have at the company that are about to finish up their internship this coming week or two. But I was talking to them about the program that I lead. It was a good trip. Got to bumped into a lot of fellow veterans at our headquarters there, who I don't normally get to see face to face. So that was kind of fun. All right, well, let's see who we've got in here tonight. Lori's in there from downstairs. Let's see, Daryl's in there. Hey, Daryl, good to have you in there. Hope all is going well with you. Daryl had was it cataract surgery, Daryl? On one eye. They never do them both together. And I think they're going to do the other one once that one's healed up. And correct me if I get any of that wrong, Daryl. But you have done a good job of chronicling that. For sure. There's Steve Shirley. How you doing, buddy? There's my cousin Toby. Hey, Toby. Well, let's see. I know you went to the Braves game today, and that was a sucky game. It was hot out there, but I'm wondering if you guys are on the way back. If you are, don't be texting and driving. Lori says a bunch have been under the weather. Yeah, there's been a lot of people under the weather lately, including Lori. Lori's got something going on with her kidneys. And an unrelated, she broke a couple toes. Those two things are not connected unless the neck bone's connected to the backbone, and the back. I guess it could be connected. I don't know. There's Brenda Lusk. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Good to have you in there from Michigan. There's Ken from down in Florida. Hey, Ken, I know it's been hot, and you guys had a lot of storming down there. Aunt Mary's in there. Hey, Aunt Mary. Carl Kihas is in there. Hey, Carl, how you doing? Carl and Peggy. My dad's in there. Dad's not been feeling too well this week. My sister had COVID all week, and then my dad's got something going on there, so they haven't been up to 100% this week. But Dad, good to see you on here. Have an announcement about my dad and my mom here in just a minute. Jim Miller's in there. Hey, Jimbo, how you doing? No surprise, Toby, that there's delays on I-75 for sure. There's Katie. Hey, Katie. All right, Matt. All right, Matt had guard duty this weekend. Okay, good to have you all in there up in Michigan. Speaking of Michigan, my buddy Aaron Bartle, who founded the Running to Honor, joins us periodically. But the reason I thought of him when I think of the Aarons is they introduced me to the Aarons, A-R-E-N, introduced me to Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, who leads the Running to Honor, which we'll be doing the annual 5K next Saturday already. How about that? July 30th, I think it is. That'll be a lot of fun. I understand Lori tells me that we've got our little granddaughter Carson, who doesn't sit still for 30 seconds. So we'll see. Lori's going to try to keep her corralled until we finish the walk. But we'll see how things go. Okay, Dad said he's got his package with the runner, the T-shirt, the bib, the race bib, and the finishing medals. Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week. Been hot. I'm hoping it's cooled down a little bit. We're not as hot as some areas of the country. We're 85 right now. We were in the 90s or the low 90s here in Atlanta. I know a lot of the country's been very hot. Some folks, I think, even up in the Northeast, touching 100. But I did get the lawn done yesterday. I don't feel complete unless I get the yard mowed and mowed the neighbors right alongside. And I'm able to get that done in less than an hour, so no big deal. It's looking good. All right, let's see. How about a weight loss update? We haven't had a weight loss update for a couple of weeks. Who wants to throw a guess in the chat there? What's the current number of pounds lost by this guy since January the 11th? Any guesses? Any guesses in the chat? What do you guys think? Oh, Toby's going for the fences. Oh, Ken's very close. Ken's a little warmer than Toby is. But I have indeed crossed the 50-pound threshold to my surprise, because when I go out of town, I don't get to craft or I don't get to prepare my meals. I have to sort of craft the meals according to what's available. I did a pretty good job this week, but it always worries me when I go out of town. I do take my my Gatorade Zero mixes, so I won't be tempted by any sugary drinks. But I've given those up. I've done a pretty good job there. But well, everybody's bouncing around at but 51 pounds lost, and my next so I reached my 50-pound goal, which man, it took me a little bit to get to that. And it's been what January 11th, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 6 months, just over 6 months. And would have been nice to have 60 pounds in 6 months. Then you could say 10 pounds a month, but I'm shooting for 60. I only have 9 pounds to go for 60, right? And we'll see where we go after that. But man, I feel so much better. I never felt bad, but I didn't know. When you feel better, I guess you don't know it in the moment. But the biggest thing, in addition to the weight, to me has been the belly and the waist, and even my shoes are loose. How about that? That sort of validates the what do you call it? The what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, yeah, so 51, so I'm on my way to 60, so I guess it'd be logical to hit those next 4 pounds first and get to the 55 mark. But all right, well, let's see. Katie says she lost 35. Oh, how about that? But the intermittent fasting is part of what I do. I eat a big old fat, juicy meat fat meal for dinner, and you guys usually see what I eat because I always post a picture of it. But I eat a lot of protein and a lot of fat, and I eat until I'm full, and I don't eat till after 6 o'clock, usually about 7, and then I won't eat again until I'll fast for 16 plus hours. They say that's the sort of the sweet spot, but I won't eat again until well into the afternoon. And if I eat anything, it might be an egg or it might be a beef stick. I keep these Tillamook beef sticks here. They're zero carb, and this will be good. I eat one or two of those, and that'll be good enough for lunch. And then I eat a big dinner, and then the intermittent fasting stuff seems to be working for me. I know everybody's different. Everybody's different for sure, and I would never try to tell somebody just do what I did because everybody's body is different, and this just happened to work for me. Um, no sugar, no carbs. All right, let's see. Oh, Toby, I can't pass a Buc-ee's without getting a brisket. I don't eat the bread anymore, but getting a brisket sandwich at Buc-ee's is awesome. Okay, well, let's see. We had some birthdays and some anniversaries this week. Um, you guys probably saw me post this birthday I'm going to announce right now, and this is our sweet little granddaughter, Paisley. That's Paisley. That's Zane's little girl, and I thought she was 7, but Lori tells me she's 8, which makes sense now when I do the math. I've never been good at birthdays, but and Lori's been outstanding at birthdays. She knows everybody's birthdays. But there's Paisley and me a year or so ago, year maybe 2. But she just had a birthday this past week, so happy birthday, young lady. She is sweet. She's adorable. We're going to get to see her and Zane's little boy, Colton, and Will and Abby's boys, Will's boys, and then Will and Abby's 2 boys, Bear and Kai. And we're gonna drive up there, trying to work everything out. But I've got a friend of mine that's retiring from the Air Force, and he invited me to his retirement ceremony, and it's in Williamsburg. And so we're going to drive up for that and spend at least a couple of days with our Virginia grandkids, including this young lady, Paisley. So that'll be fun. And her papa, Abby's dad, Zane's father-in-law, Dave, I think his birthday was yesterday. And I forgot they have a birthday so close, Paisley and Dave. They call him Papa. And that's Abby's dad. They live here in the Atlanta metro too. So happy birthday, Dave. And wow, what a big anniversary yesterday. July the 23rd was the 60th birthday or wedding anniversary for my mom and dad, Guy and Bonnie McDonald. And Dad, correct me if I get any of this wrong, but y'all were 17 years old when you got married, which means, let's see, Dad went to boot camp at 17. So Dad was a Marine, and there's a whole story about him going over to Alabama and picking my mom up out of her high school class and going to get married. And 60 years later, they are still going strong, for sure. Yeah, Lori said I had just turned 20. Lori was 19. So maybe we learned that from you and Mom, Dad. But yeah, Dad hadn't been feeling very well this week, I'm told. But I I hope that I'm as in such great shape as my dad when I reach his age. He's only 18 years older than me. In fact, this is a neat thing we have. When I turn, let's see, yeah, when I turned 50, my dad was still in his 60s. So when I turned 60, which is coming up pretty quick, my dad will still be in his 70s. How about that? It's pretty interesting. But happy birthday, Dad and Mom. I think Dad and Sharon and my nephew, Cody, are, I think, and I know it's all going to depend on how well y'all are feeling, but I know they are registered for the race. So I know the original plans were to come up here and do the 5K with us like they have done in the past. But if you guys aren't feeling up to it, I know that that y'all can do it from down there. But anyway, we hope that you can come up next weekend. All right. Let's see. What else do we have going here? Hat of the week, hat of the week, hat of the week. It's a hat. This is probably the hat I've worn for hat of the week more than any other hat, I would guess. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go back and look, but I don't want to. I would have to look through 200 episodes, or at least the notes. I have notes, by the way, that go with these. Let me show you my notes here. Let me stop sharing that one. I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys a little behind the scenes of the production. Not that this is an elaborate production, but let me show you why I'm always looking over here like this at the other screen. That's because my notes are there. Let me show you. Boom, there's my notes right there. Very simple. So you see my notes this week in military history, Veteran Cemetery Challenge, Take a Vet Challenge. That's where my notes are. So that's why I'm always looking over there to keep myself on track. Lori says 9 months. Yeah, I guess it is about 9 months away next March, I guess, into a new decade. But they say 60 is the new 40, I guess. Maybe. I still feel 20 on the inside some days. Okay, well, hat of the week, hat of the week, hat of the week. I just happened to wear this hat today. I went out to the cemetery to see Zane. I had to run a few errands, pick up some prescriptions. Not for me, because I've never had any prescriptions. I don't get sick, knock on wood. But I picked up some prescriptions for Lori, and I decided I'm that close. Let me run on out and see Zane. It was hot up there, but a little bit of a breeze. But I wore this hat. This is the hat I was wearing. You guys have seen me with this hat before. This is the one that Zane wore all the time. We do bad things to bad people. I don't know where he got this hat, but he wore it a lot, and so I wear it a lot. One day I'll give it to his son. So that is the hat of the week. Okay, let's see what else we got. This week in military history, I pulled a few items in military history. Lori's asking me to turn the, okay, I'll turn she's asking me to turn the air conditioner down. Unfortunately, I can do it on my phone, so let's go. It's running. It's just hot outside. It takes a while to, okay. We have two air conditioning units, obviously, one for the upstairs level, one for the downstairs level, but in the afternoon, those two units are on the side of the house where the sun sets, and it's 90 degrees, bearing down on those outdoor units, and I don't think it's conducive to their operation. Anyway, it's hot. Okay, let's see. What do I have for this week in military history? Well, let's see. I'll try. Maybe I can do it in chronological order. So here's a funny story. I never knew this. If anybody knew this, tell me. But on July the 27th, 1940, Bugs Bunny made his official debut in the Warner Brothers animated cartoon, A Wild Hare. So 3 years later, Bugs, this is where the military connection comes in. Bugs would be made an honorary corporal in the United States Marine Corps after their release of the short Super Rabbit, in which he's portrayed as a parody of Superman. Bugs abandons his colorful costume, faces the camera, and proclaims that this looks like a job for a real Superman. And then he reappears from the phone booth wearing a uniform of the United States Marine Corps. And then as the skit continues, his former antagonists snap to attention and salute Bugs as he marches into the horizon singing the Marine Corps hymn. How about that? I bet you can find that on YouTube. Maybe I'll look for that later, but that sounds interesting. Bugs Bunny and the Marine Corps. How about that? Okay, well, let's see. Go into the next decade, July 27th, 1953. After 3 years of a bloody and frustrating war, the United States, I think I got the year right. The United States, the People's Republic of China, North Korea, and South Korea agreed to an armistice, bringing the Korean War to an end. Does that sound right? Let me look here. 53. Let me see if I got the right year. What was July 27th? Yeah, 1953. All right. And then let's see, how about into the next decade, July 24th, on this day today, July 24th, 1969, Apollo 11, the U.S. spacecraft that had taken the first astronauts to the surface of the moon, returned safely back to Earth. How about that? You guys remember the first man on the moon? I do. I remember we were in Alabama. I don't remember if my dad was there, but I do remember being at someone's house watching the television on, it wouldn't have been today, it would have been like last week when they walked on the moon. But anyway, I do remember that, 1969, I would have been 6 years old. All right, and then let's see, moving on up, on July 27th in 2003, July 27, 2003, so about 19 years ago, Bob Hope, master of the one-liner, favorite comedian of service members and presidents alike, died at his home in California. Tell you what, I'll admit to being guilty of watching old Bob Hope Christmas specials around Christmas time. I still do that on YouTube. I'll pull up an old Bob Hope Christmas special somewhere in the world and watch that. You can't help but get in the Christmas spirit with Bob Hope for sure. No doubt about it. All right. Well, that's it for this week in military history. A lot more items there. And if you guys ever come up with one that you want to share, feel free to do so. All right. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Been a couple of weeks. Now, these numbers are 2 weeks worth of numbers on our Veteran Cemetery Challenge. I know that Daryl, I think last week when Daryl had his cataract surgery, I think he went the first week that he's ever gone since losing Wanda without visiting her at Jefferson Barracks. And that's because the doctor told him not to drive, dummy. You got a bad eye. So he had to wait till his eye healed. And I don't think he waited until the doctor told him, if I followed the story correctly. But Daryl did finally make a visit out to Jefferson Barracks. And also, like Daryl put in the chat a little bit ago, Daryl, you actually made a drive down to Tennessee. Now, it's not all that far, depending on part of Tennessee from St. Louis, but I don't know where New Concord is. But anyway, Daryl made a trip because Wanda's youngest brother, I guess, passed, right, Daryl? And then Daryl paid a visit to the cemetery where her other brother is buried. Daryl, tell me if I got any of that wrong, but so Daryl made 2 visits there. I'm going to count that as a visit. And then Jimbo made some visits. Jimbo, this is 2 weeks worth of visits. So Jim actually made 3 visits to Omaha National Cemetery since we were last together, and 2 to St. John's, where his Deborah is buried. And then I think I'm right when I say Lori made the visit week before, and then I made a visit today, like I mentioned. So if I total all those up, we had 9 visits since we were last together. One of those new, the cemetery Darrell visited. I'm going to count that one and add it to our map. So if I add all that up, we have made 653 visits to 158 different cemeteries over the last, I don't know, how long we've been doing this? 3 years? Something like that. All right, well, let me check on the chat here. James says, Bob Hope was great. Yeah, no doubt about it. In fact, you guys remember, Jim, at Mildenhall, where you remember the Bob Hope Recreation Center? You remember that? Used to make phone calls back to the States there and all kind of stuff there at the Bob Hope Recreation Center at Mildenhall. I guess they still have it. I don't know. And, oh, okay. Let's see. Carl reminds us that they took a trip. I don't know exactly where this is at, but there's a Camp Hale. What there's like a, it's like a, what is it, Carl? There's like a memorial there or something for the 10th Mountain Division. I don't know where that's at. But Colorado, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, those are some good pictures you posted there. Thank you. All right, let's see. Dad says that he's just fine. Of course he is. He's a crusty old Marine. He would never tell you that he's not fine, but he just looks like he had a case of food poisoning. And yeah, Sharon, my sister Sharon had got COVID. She should have got that vaccine, and she wouldn't got COVID. But yeah, and then this Friday, was it Friday, Dad? I guess Friday or Saturday was the 1-year anniversary of losing my dad's oldest brother, Bob, my Uncle Bob, who was a retired Air Force officer, and probably my all-time favorite uncle. Spent the most time with him as a kid on various Air Force bases. They started out in the Army and transferred to the Air Force and ended up retiring from the Air Force after 30 some years. And man, one of the most optimistic guys, as demonstrated by the fact he was almost 80 when he got braces on his teeth. That's optimism right there. That's optimism. But he ended up living on to, he ended up living several more years after that. And it wasn't like he had, it wasn't like there was this long decline that Uncle Bob had. It was he was very, very capable all the way through. And it was like less than a year of decline in his health there. But yeah, good genes in the family there for sure. But yeah, I went down for his funeral last year about this time and was honored that the family asked me, along with my dad, to speak at the funeral, and it was my pleasure. Okay, let's see. So that's the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Now, how about the Think of Vet Challenge? It's been a couple of weeks since we tallied up the Think of Vets. And these are what I have now. I don't always capture all of them, and I know that, and I don't claim to be 100% accurate on these, but I just take what I see and what you guys tell me. But I do know that Jim had a personal best over the last couple of weeks. He had 5 airmen on one occasion and 2 on another. So that's 7 for Jimbo. And Ken had an airborne, Army Airborne Ranger that he thanked somewhere along the way these last couple of weeks. My dad had a couple, and my dad actually gave a couple folks challenge coins. Thank you for your service challenge coins. And one of them was an Army vet who served in Grenada. You guys remember that engagement in the early 80s? And then an Army National Guardsman. So Dad had a couple. And I mentioned that I ran into some veterans at my headquarters, 4 of them that I was able to thank. And then one here at the Kroger yesterday, I think it was. And I also handed out some challenge coins, Dad. We have some challenge coins from work. Let's see, we had these challenge coins made. Whoops. No, I'll keep moving it. I tried to show you guys last week, and I keep moving it. Anyway, we had some challenge coins made for all the veterans at work, and I was able to hand a couple more out on this trip while I was there. One guy, actually West Point grad, he's an analyst for us. He was actually in the 3rd ID, and he was in the 3rd BCT, I think he said, and graduated from West Point. And he's only been out for a few years, but good to bump into him. Ray Wagner is his name. All right, let's see. So that, I think if I total all those up, I think we're at 15 thank yous for the last couple of weeks. So that takes our count up to, how about this? Let's remember when we were pushing for 1,000? Doesn't seem all that long ago, does it? We are at 1,571 or so thank yous. So how about that? I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Thank you guys for doing that along with us, at least for being aware of service members and veterans and first responders. Been a lot of fun. I tell you, I get excited when I bump into one at the Kroger or the Lowe's or something, and don't always have time to chat, don't always have time to get a name, but sometimes just a fist bump or a thank you. But I love it when I can chat with somebody and get a little backstory. Good stuff. All right, let's see. Organizations, what do we got going for organizations? I mentioned the Running to Honor. We'll be doing that. So we'll be reporting to you next Sunday night about how that went. And let's see if my 51 pounds less weight helps me get that run instead of walk. We'll see. And we'll report that to you next week. But looking forward to that. I know several others of you are planning to participate across the country as well. So we'll look forward to hearing from you. That always looking forward to that. Oh, by the way, my Warriors Place, you probably saw me. I posted this on my page and on the Speaking of Zane Facebook page. But Kelly had a new promo video done for my Warriors Place. If you haven't seen it yet, go to Speaking of Zane Facebook group and see where I posted it there. And it's you'll just see a link, and just click that link. It'll take you to the video. And it's a nice little promo. It's current. It's got using their new logo. It's got pictures, or it's got some video footage of current state, and some of the people there, Chad and Steve, and their new logo and all of that. So anyway, I invite you to go watch that. And then I know we had some incidents over the last couple of weeks. In fact, I didn't see the name of this soldier yet, but there was a soldier that was struck and killed by lightning at Fort Gordon during this past week. And I think there were 8 or 9 other soldiers that were injured, and they were out at the range, not the golf range, the gun range. But yeah, one guy was killed. And I think I read somewhere that he was a reservist, maybe. But anyway, it's a sad situation there for sure. Let's see. Also had a couple of aviation-related accidents. There were 2 pilots that died in a firefighting helicopter crash. Man, I hate to hear that. in Idaho, and turns out they were both veterans. I didn't look back to find the names, but they were both veterans and were killed in that crash. And then just a few days before, if I got my dates right, there were 4 individuals killed when a sheriff's office helicopter crashed into Mexico. So a couple of helicopter crashes, terrible. But I think there may have been a couple of other incidents that I just didn't capture, but those with the soldier at Fort Gordon and those 2 helicopter crashes, it's been a terrible couple of weeks there. But speaking of aviation, the big air show, Air Venture in Oshkosh is going on this week. And originally, my son Jackson and I, who's about to finish his pilot's training, we had planned to go up there and spend the week, but just didn't work out. He changed jobs and this and that and the other, and just wasn't going to work out. But I'll watch it on their YouTube channel, and then maybe shoot for next year. But all right, well, let's see. I can't think of anything I am missing, but man, I tell you what, it's good to have you guys join us here on Sunday nights. I can't think of a better thing I'd rather be doing between 8:30 and 9 on a Sunday night than talking about Zane and sharing about him. And look forward to doing it again next Sunday night. Reminded me, I had the opportunity, I think I mentioned this, I may have mentioned this last week, but yeah, I did mention this last week, and it reminded me that I hadn't said it in a while, and that was, when you think when you think that circumstances are insurmountable, or when you think your contribution to something doesn't make that much of a difference. I go back to the Ronald Reagan quote where he said, "We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone." And I love that. One of my favorite quotes. And it's certainly true. It's certainly true. We can't get bogged down thinking just because we can't help everyone that's in need, we can't help someone, because we certainly can't. But good stuff. All right, folks. Well, hey, thanks for joining us along the way. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I've got a regular week now that I'm not going there. I've sort of shuffle things so that I can get some work done. And then we've got some trips, Lori and I, and coming up in maybe August, September, October. So no big deal there. It'll be a little bit cooler, hopefully. So we'll look forward to those. But hey, great to have everybody in here tonight, and appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Appreciate you guys saying Zane's name, and appreciate you guys sharing that either that you knew Zane or you know Zane's loudmouth dad. And man, if we can, if people just keep saying his name after I'm gone, then this will all be worth it. And we'll look forward to seeing you all next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane. All right, I'll give you a rundown on the 5K. Talk to you then.